Hello everyone. Welcome to Biotech Academy. Hope you all are doing good and keeping yourself healthy and safe in this pandemic, which is creating a tough time for everyone. And don't get disheartened because all the exams are getting postponed. You all have got some extra time to prepare yourself well and clear the exam in the first attempt itself. So moving on to the next video, the video which is we'll talk about today. So we'll discuss about electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. So we are discussing about ETC and oxidative phosphorylation. Electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation. So what are these? These are the ultimate. So the ultimate purpose of aerobic oxidation is to generate ATP. And among eukaryotes, the complete or the final stage is represented by these steps: electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation, which is the ultimate step or the last step in completing the aerobic oxidation of biomolecules to generate ATP, and it occurs in the mitochondria in eukaryotes. So mitochondria is the site where the process takes place. Why? Because all the enzymes and all the necessary precursors, they are present in the mitochondria for carrying out this pathway, and basically it occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane, and all the enzymes, they are embedded in the inner mitochondrial membrane. So the site of electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation is mitochondria. Right. Now, what is oxidative phosphorylation? So by definition, oxidative phosphorylation is the process. Oxidative phosphorylation is the process of generating ATP by using the proton gradient of the electron transport chain. So oxidative phosphorylation utilizes the proton gradient which is created in the electron transport chain by the transfer of electrons from a weaker electron acceptor to a greater electron acceptor in the chain of various enzymes or donor and acceptor molecules, entities, and during that transfer of electron, a proton gradient is created. So ATP synthase is the enzyme which utilizes this gradient to make ATP from ADP. Okay, so this is why it is called oxidative phosphorylation, because phosphorylation is being carried out. And why oxidative? Because it is the oxidation process. So this is called oxidative phosphorylation, and where it occurs in the inner mitochondrial membrane. So what are the essential requirements for this which are present in the inner mitochondrial membrane are the electron transport chain, which oxidizes the reduced coenzymes. And what are the reduced coenzymes which are generated? They are the NADH and FADH2, which is generated in glycolysis and the citric acid cycle as well. So these reduced coenzymes they are oxidized in the electron transport chain, and then this ATP synthase, which is the enzyme, utilizes the machine. It is the machinery to synthesize ATP from ADP. So this is the complete picture of the various processes which are integrated in order to generate electrons, which are utilized in the electron transport chain. So glucose, basically here what I have tried to present is various reducing equivalents which are generated by various processes, and they generate electrons, or oxidation of which generate electrons, which are utilized in the electron transport chain to create a proton gradient for generation of ATP molecules. So glucose is converted into pyruvate by glycolysis. There NADH is produced. This NADH generates electrons. Pyruvate is converted into acetyl coenzyme A, where there also NADH is converted. NADH is produced, which generates electrons. Then acetyl coenzyme A is consumed in the TCA cycle, and it generates NADH, which are used to produce electrons. Fatty acids are converted into acetyl coenzyme A by the process called as beta oxidation of fatty acids. There FADH2 and NADH both are generated. These again, they generate electrons. Now these electrons are then carried out in the electron transport chain, which generate proton gradient, and ultimately it uses oxygen to generate water molecule, and ATP molecules are produced by oxidative phosphorylation. So this is the complete picture of oxidative phosphorylation. So all these processes, they generate electrons. These electrons are then transported from one moiety to the other in the electron transport chain and generate a proton gradient. That proton gradient is utilized by ATP synthase in order to produce ATP molecules by oxidative phosphorylation, and at the end of the electron transport chain, the proton H plus accepts oxygen to generate water molecule. The electron transport chain and oxidative phosphorylation, what do they capture? They capture the energy in the redox potential of the reducing equivalents, which are NADH and FADH2, which in the two separate processes that are coupled to ATP production. Okay, now there is in all these processes, both the processes, they occur in the inner mitochondrial membrane, and in the inner mitochondrial membrane is extensively folded. Why there is extensive folding? The extensive folding of the inner mitochondrial membrane is used to provide a wider surface area, so that there occurs more number of assemblies and greater number of ATP molecules can be generated in a single go. So that is why the inner mitochondrial membrane is extensively folded, and the foldings or the projections, they are known as cristae. So we'll discuss about the all these in detail when we'll talk about the structure of various cell organelles in the cell bio module. Okay, so the energy generation, so the ultimate energy generation, it varies among biological and non-biological systems to a great extent. So what happens in non-biological system? In non-biological system, how the energy is generated? The energy is generated in the form of heat by direct reaction between hydrogen and oxygen, and that heat is then transformed into mechanical energy or electrical energy or various different types. So now this process is uncontrolled, explosive in nature, and inefficient. However, what happens in the biological system? In biological systems, the cells use electron transport chain. So to transfer electrons stepwise from one substrate to the other, and ultimately to oxygen, which has the highest affinity for the electrons. So there, because of the stepwise transfer of electrons, the process is carried out in a stepwise manner, and gradually the steps occur gradually to prevent sudden burst of huge amount of energy, and this burst can be destructive for the cell, or it can go away. All the energy may not be utilized at the same point of time, and many of the ATP molecules could go waste. So to prevent the wastage or destructive power of the energy, so there occurs a stepwise flow of electrons in the electron transport chain, and thus it is controlled, efficient, and occurs in a stepwise manner. So this is the major difference for energy generation between biological and non-biological systems. Okay, now so this is the electron transport chain, so this is the lipid bilayer, this is present in the inner mitochondrial matrix membrane, and this is the intermembrane space, this is the matrix, and this is the lipid bilayer. So these are the various coenzymes and molecules which are present in the lipid bilayer, which carry the electrons in a stepwise manner from NADH to ultimately to oxygen. And so NADH is the strongest donor and oxygen is the strongest acceptor. So the flow of electrons is from weakest acceptor to the strongest acceptor, or from high energy state to lower energy state. So this NADH is oxidized to NAD plus and generates H plus, which is carried out to the intermembrane space via FMN and iron sulfur complex. Again, this is the site 1. Then moving to the site 2, where FADH2 is present in the TCA cycle, generated in the TCA cycle. So succinate is converted into fumarate and FADH2 is generated. Now this FADH2 again also is oxidized into FAD plus and H plus ions. Now these H plus ions, which are generated from oxidation of FADH2, they are transported via coenzyme Q, then cytochrome B to cytochrome C1, and then move to the intermembrane space. Now coming to the site 3. So because of the movement of H plus ions from the matrix to the intermembrane space via lipid bilayer, the electrons are flowing to oxygen, and this here it accepts the electrons and generates water molecule, and the H plus ions which are released, they move out through cytochrome A3 to the intermembrane space. And now these proton gradients, so there is a gradient which is created. So there is high proton state in the intermembrane space and low protons in the matrix, inside the matrix. So this is utilized by ATP synthase for generation of ATP, and this will take up in the next video. So till then, stay safe, healthy, work hard, and if you have any doubts or queries, you can ask me in the comment section or on the email ID. I'll be happy to answer all your queries and doubts. Thank you. Also, share this among your friends. If you find the content useful, please hit like and do subscribe to the channel for more updates. Also, we'll be starting soon with the immunology section as well as the cell biology in the coming week. Thank you.